If we're on an airside bus and the seats are purple, that must mean we're in Doha, Qatar. I've just spent a quick night here to catch up with a friend. By the way, for those of you who transit here, I do recommend stopping for a night or two if possible. Anyway, now I'm headed onward to Johannesburg, and it's the A350 this morning. An 8-hour daytime Qatar Airways flight on the A350 to South Africa. I can't think of much better than that. So let's get into it. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Qatar Airways is the airline I get most consistently excited about flying, even though I've taken many flights with them at this point. None of this ever gets old. I only feel a little guilty about not flying something different so I could make a wider variety of videos for you all, but the negative points end there. I also take the stance that I don't really mind whether I get Q suites or one of the older business seats. Which is good because I never get the Q suites. I treat those as a bonus, and I'm perfectly happy in this configuration, which is found on all the 787-8s and many A350s still. Plus, if you worry too much about aircraft and configuration swaps when flying Qatar, you'll just get stressed. So I choose to go with the flow and enjoy it. And that's not difficult because I love the look and feel of the cabin. I love the way they present the food and drink, the table setting. I love the cabin crew and how on the ball they are. I generally love everything I order as well. This here was a surprise, a warm chia seed pudding with fruit and mint. Lovely. I don't usually watch a lot on the IFE on airplanes, but the selection of movies here is mind-boggling. From classics to new releases, you need weeks to get through all this stuff. And how about this as a workspace? A solid and large table with ample counter space to the side. I can have my whole editing setup and be charging devices as well. Not to mention that I can order drinks and anything else I feel like while working, so it's like my home office, just far better because there I don't have a butler. At least not yet. The only downside being that at home I'm not tempted to drink champagne in the middle of the workday. But as you all will no doubt agree, different rules apply when you're in the sky. Isn't that just beautiful? So this rosé is better than the one from yesterday's flight. After this I'll try the Brut and we'll compare back to back. It's good though. Turn off that hyperlapse. Not much going on. I was thinking we might pass through some cloud formations and weather, but we just basically were in the cloud and then we went up above it slightly. I'm not actually sure if we might have climbed. Are we at 43,000 now? Maybe. The ceiling for the A350. Always pretty cool to be up that high if you're a nerd like me who also enjoys nice champagne. So we can nerd out and be drinking good champagne. This is a nice combination. And now I'm trying the Brut, so let's see. tough one. They're both pretty equal, I think, in terms of flavor. I gotta give it a minute, a few more sips, but I think maybe the Brute wins again. Very unusual for a Qatar Airways experience. If you're interested in being able to grab great premium airfares on Qatar Airways and others when they pop up, it's possible to fly business class all over the world for far less than you might expect. The trick is finding out about the best deals. That's where I really like being subscribed to Skip's Luxury Flight Club newsletter. I've been getting the alerts for years, and I booked several fares I learned about through the newsletter, including a recent €800 business class fare on Air India between Copenhagen and Delhi. Full disclosure, I reached out to Skip asking if I could test out the gold status, which gets you more frequent deal alerts, and he bumped me up. But if he had said no, I probably would have paid for it. And I'm only talking about it here because I get a lot of questions about where I find good fares, and I find this to be a key tool in my arsenal. So I'll put a link in the description in case you want to check that out. And in case you're wondering, Qatar Airways is not sponsoring this video, nor have they ever sponsored me or even offered to. Maybe they should be, considering I have nothing negative to say, so I could be shilling for them with a clean conscience. Shall we have some more food as we cruise off the coast of East Africa? Yes, please. So good. I'm really excited to eat it. I almost always get the local option on the Qatar Airways flights. Maybe not every time, but if it's available, I'll go for it. That's kind of true for any airline. I'll tend to get the dish from the place the airline is from. They usually have at least one. This is really good. A little bit of spice, good strong flavor. This sauce, I don't know what it's called, but fantastic. And this is an 8 hours that goes by too fast. I'm very excited to get back to Joburg though, so let's do that descent and get on the ground. And as an added bonus at the end here, I only discovered just before this trip that OR Tambo has a really nice and quick train service into town. It's called the Gao train, and it's safe, cheap, and efficient. This was such a pleasant surprise, and I ended up taking this a few times to and from the airport on this trip, so definitely check it out on your next trip to Johannesburg. Thanks for coming along, and be sure to let me know what you think. Am I too easy on QR, or are they as good as I say? And you might want to check out these South Africa videos I did for Flight Radar 24 on this trip. I'll put them up on the screen now.